Okay, welcome back, and hopefully you've done all your homework and we're ready to start sewing the strip sets together that you have strip pieced and cut the strips. So let me show you how to pin them and how we're going to sew them together so you get a nice neat job. So if you look here at the diamond, you'll notice that it goes from light to dark. And it doesn't matter which side you start from. I'm going to start from the dark side just because you will be able to see it a little better when I pin. So with right sides together, so this diamond strip goes to this one, and notice how that this seam here is the one that runs down through here. That's where we want to pin it. Right sides together. And when we pin this, what we want to happen is the little diamond point that is sticking out over the edge. So when these are matched up, you're going to see a little V that is right here. So where the bottom fabric, you just have a little triangle and this piece is over top. And when you make a seam allowance, it's going to be a 1/4 inch from the edge of this fabric, and the needle is going to go, it's going to start right there at that V. So that's the important part there. At the seam, when you match it up, you will be putting the pin in a 1/4 inch down from the edge here. And so if you, and you know what? You all will not have that little dog ear on because I changed out them triangles. So when you put your pin in, it's going to be a 1/4 inch from the edge into the seam and a 1/4 inch down into the seam again. And you're going to pinch it, then put your pin around. Now, when you make that 1/4 inch seam come down through here, it will cross right there. I also like to put a little pin in the end, and if you need to work any fullness in, you need to do that because you want all your ends to come out. So when I sew that 1/4 inch, that V will go, when I'm sewing a 1/4 inch, you'll hit the V of the two fabrics there. So let me do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have sewn the seam, and if you can see the gray thread, right there is the V, and the thread comes right in between where this fabric and this fabric join, a 1/4 inch, and when you get to the end of the piece, the same thing is going to happen. Where the two fabrics, there should be a V. And what that does is when you open it up, it's a nice straight edge on both sides, and your points meet. So continue to join the strip set together. Now I'm going to show you while we're in this classroom. So your homework is to piece all the diamonds, but I had also had you cut the A, B, and C cream backgrounds. And if you looked at your directions, there were A, B, that you have the 13-inch square, and then you have the CD, which is the 9. I believe it's 13 inch and 9 1/4, was it? 9 1/2. So with the 13-inch square, these are the A and the B. And with the template, when we cut, what we're going to do is we're going to trim off the point. And if you look at this picture here, we're going to trim off these pieces. So I want you to be sure that you put the A and B in this position that I have here. And this is A and B. We'll flip them around. And we're going to cut this edge off. And this is what we cut off. So if we position it just like the picture, and this is A and B like this, and the piece goes like this, and then we flip it. So I'm going to cut this stack off. Flip it over. And cut this stack off. So that is the A and the B. Then I'm going to lay this to the side. And this is the C and the D. Now I want you to notice the rotation of them. What happens is the C, we do it with the picture. The C is on this side, so I want to make sure the C is on this side. But the triangle is rotated, so the right angle is down here at the bottom, just like that. And the ones that get trimmed off here are, it's going to go like this and then like this. So we trim that one off. And the D's have slipped on me. And flip it. And cut the D's off. And if you need to cut with the ruler along that template edge, that is fine. And it is 4 layers, so you want to be sure to do a nice cut and keep them in the same position. And notice that the points that are going to go back on here are these, like this. And when you sew these together, right sides together, here again, you're going to have that little dog ear and that little dog ear. So pin in position and sew. And I'll sew and come back to you. All right, I sewed these on. I have 4 of the C and 4 of the D, and I just want to show you a close-up picture of that seam where that little V is. You can see the stitching, and when it comes down to this point, you can see how it hits the V. The pieces are lined up there so that when you flip this out, it will make a right angle. So they are the C and the D. So now we're going to get the A and the B pieces. So we have cut them off, the A and the B. And if you notice the A and B, they are make sure I get it correctly, is this part was right here and this part here was cut off. And let me just show you that. And that's why it's pretty easy to get mixed up. So when you cut these off, kind of keep in mind how you have them laid out, okay? So you can see here the A and the B, which is like your picture here, your A and your B, and the E and F go on, which are these pieces here. So this one goes on this side take this out of the way. And this one goes on this side. So you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to sew these two on and these two on. So so for your homework, I want you to make all the A, B, C, and D units and sew your diamonds together. And I want you to notice too that your diamond needs to measure 9.5 by 9.5. And when you press it, just kind of stretch it if it's too small, or spray it with water and shrink up any fullness. And that has to do with people's quarter inches, whether people do make different quarter inches, but you like this diamond to be as close 9.25 inches both ways. So that's your homework for this time, and then we will start putting together the 1/8 of the star. See you next time.